What's up guys? In this video, you're going to be learning about two different mindsets you can be in. The trainer mindset and the trusting mindset, and why most poker players misapply these and get it completely wrong at the poker tables. Now if you're new to the channel and you want to learn how to build a stronger mindset, make sure you smash the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. With that being said, let's dive into today's video. So first of all, we have the training mindset. So this is what you want to use out of game. This is what most poker players are good at using. It's the critical part of your brain, it's the scientific, calculating, and good at processing information. So out of game, when you're in training, in practice, you're trying to get better, you're studying, you're doing solver work, you want to use the training brain. And most poker players do because this is their strong point. And we'll talk about the second why the trusting mind is the one that players neglect at the cost of the training mindset. So, some attributes of the training mindset which are beneficial. First of all, it's active. It's always thinking, always trying to join dots. So when you're studying and you're trying to learn information and you're practicing, is it good to have an active brain? Yes, it is. It's good to be making decisions and to be trying to connect dots so it cements your learning. It's also beneficial to be analytical. So the training mind is always trying to analyze. If you're doing solver work, you're doing database analysis, you're going for hand histories, you want to be analyzing. As a poker player, this is one of your strengths, the ability to analyze, spot, and come to conclusions and come to strategies to make you more profitable. So also we've got, it's active, it's analytical. Next thing it's judgmental. So judgmental, it's good when you're trying to critique your performance, right? So if you're looking at how to play hands, did I play it right? Did I play it not? You can put a judgment on that and decide how you can improve. So judgmental. And then also it is critical. It's critical, it's going to break down your performance and tell you what was good, what wasn't good, and what you can do better. Alright, so when you're studying, this is awesome, right? Like you want to be using the training brain. When you're practicing, trying to get better at something, you want to use this brain. And most poker players are good at this. I'm going to say the majority of players I work with have a good training mindset. They're good at using this part of their brain. However, at some point, when you're playing, you need to switch over to the trusting mindset. And this is the part where most players don't do a good job. Most players stick with the training mindset, they try and use that in-game, and it doesn't work as effectively. So let's transition over to the trusting mindset, which is what you should be using in-game. Now, the trusting mindset, we could class as more intuition-based. Now, if you look at like the highest levels of performance in anything, but especially in cognitive pursuits, it's people who are able to get into a flow state or to get into the zone. And anyone who explains that state of mind and how they feel when they're in a flow-like state, very often they think less. Their thinking part of their brain is less active. So they almost have an empty brain. We'll call it, their mind is empty. Empty mind. Alright, so that's one of the things, like they're not as active, not thinking as much about stuff, they're not trying to solve as many problems, and they've got this like intuition, flow, they're in the zone, things come easy, things come effortless, and they're not trying to force things. Another characteristic of being in the trusting state is your accepting. This is a really big one for poker players. They really struggle to accept outcomes. So in poker, a lot of things are going to go bad. A lot of things aren't going to go the way you want to, and you've got to be able to accept that. So when you're in the trusting mindset, you're just in the flow of the game, you're letting things happen, you're not overthinking, not overcritical, you accept things a lot better. You accept whatever happens, and you just deal with it as it comes. A lot of players, because they're using their training minds, they're very analytical, active, they're thinking too much in spots. As a result, they're judging themselves, they're being critical, and they lose their flow. You can't get in flow with the training mind. You can get in flow with the trusting mind. So accepting mistakes, accepting that you lose, accepting that this dumb opponent just hit a 2-outer. You just got to be able to deal with it, and the more you learn to use the trusting mind, the better. So we've got empty mind, we've got accepting outcomes. Next one is intuitive. So anyone who gets into a high performance zone becomes very intuitive. You're very in the moment. So what happens is basically the world, we're trying to interact with the world, but we're looking through our mind. We're like interacting through our mind, and if our mind's busy, our lens of reality gets clouded. So if we're overthinking, we're analytical, our mind's full, we end up making mistakes and getting too caught up in thoughts. But to perform at a high level, you've got to learn to empty the mind, get very quiet, stop accepting stuff, and be very intuitive, very in the flow. I'm sure you guys can relate to when you played some of your best poker. Was it hard? Was it really, did you put loads of effort in, did you try super, super hard? Or did it just feel natural? Were you in the zone, where things just felt intuitive and in the flow? Most people will say they felt intuitive. And then we've got patient. I could list 20 variables for each of these, but these are some of the ones I thought were most important. But patient. When you're in the flow and you're in the zone, you're patient. You're not trying to force things. You're letting things happen. Because you accept what happens, because you've got an empty mind, and because you're intuitive, you're patient. You're just waiting for the right spots and you're taking opportunities as they come. So the trainer mind, as is implied, is amazing out of game. But in game, the trust of mind is way, way better. So most poker players get this wrong because they think that their logical brain, their ability to analyze, their ability to think critically, their ability to be scientific and solve problems is their strength. And it is out of game. It helps you improve your knowledge and gets you to a point where you can actually perform your best. But if you want to be an elite performer, you've got to be able to switch over to the trusted mindset. All right, you've got to be able to let go of all that analyzing. So when you sit down to play, you've got to almost like visualize being in a flow-like state. You've got to give yourself permission to make mistakes. You've got to accept that things might not go the way you want to. You've got to be patient and let your intuition judge. The more you can empty the mind, be less active with the thought processing part of your brain, the better you will do. Now, some of you guys watching this will be like, nah, bullshit. I need my brain to be calculating stuff and make better decisions. When you've got this empty mind, which is accepting, trust me, your decision-making process will be super accurate and super crisp. You'll be getting the knowledge and it'll just feel effortless. You won't be forcing it. So often players make the mistake, they think, the more I think about something, the better I'll do. And as soon as you're judging yourself, analyzing yourself and being critical, you've lost any chance of performing at a high level. You're now in the past, you're thinking about what just happened rather than what's happened now. So a lot of poker players, their biggest room for improvements with their performance is training themselves to be in the trusting zone. So how do you do that? First of all, you've got to realize that this is happening. And you've got to go, okay, is the way I'm being critical, analyzing myself, judging myself in game, it's a great process out of game, is that helping me at the tables? If you stop just for like a few minutes and thought about it, you'd realize, okay, every time I'm judging, every time I'm criticizing, every time I'm trying to analyze, my performance gets worse. I'm not able to take in all the information. I'm not able to focus at a high level. I'm not able to play the next hand as best as possible. So you first come to the conclusion, okay, this model isn't as good in game. So you come to the conclusion yourself that, okay, I want to be more in the zone. Then you start going, okay, I need to learn to empty my mind. Every time my mind gets busy, I need to remind myself, be in the zone. And you need to give yourself prompts and triggers that remind yourself to get in the zone. And every day you're playing, before you sit down to play, go, okay, when I'm playing poker, I'm going to go into the trusting mindset. I'm going to try and go into the zone. These are the characteristics of it. Empty mind, accepting, intuitive, and patient. If I see my logical mind firing up, which it will, I remind myself back into the intuitive mind. That's taking me away from performance. And it takes time, but you can train yourself to get yourself into this zone. The first thing is the awareness that these zones exist. The second one is to see the benefits of being in another one and train yourself over time to be in the trusting mindset. So the trainer mindset, it wants everything now. It wants everything right here, right now. It's the egoic mind. It's very impatient. It wants practical solutions to practical problems. Give me the how-to right here, right now. Like I said, amazing outside the game. So this is not knocking this mindset. The trainer mindset's an amazing tool, but don't use it in game. Use it outside the game. In game, you want to be in the flow state. In the flow state and the trusted mind lets it happen. Lets it happen. It's one of the most fundamental things to performance, but yet one of the hardest things to get your head around, because as you're watching this video, a lot of you guys, you'll have a very strong logical function, and the logical part of your brain can't comprehend that feeling and being intuitive and being in the zone could outperform its logic. It almost like jeopardizes the whole logical part of your brain. So as you're trying to like absorb this information, part of you might be going, nah, I need the logical part of my brain to be stronger. It takes a leap of faith to realize, okay, actually, if I just surrendered some of that, if I just let it happen, if I accepted outcomes, if I emptied my mind rather than being all busy trying to control everything, I would perform better. It takes some time and energy, and just watching one video like this won't convince all of you guys. But hopefully a few of you guys can see the value of this approach, and you start going, okay, how could I start to cultivate more of a trusting mindset? How could I stop myself from being overly analytical in game, judge myself, accept outcomes, let it happen, be less forceful, be in the flow of the game, and see how that affects my results. And every time my logical mind tries to zone in with critiques and judgments, I go back, I take a step back, I relax, release it, remind myself that's going to help my performance, and go into it. And all elite performers in sports and poker and everything that you'll find have a way of having this trusting mindset, this intuitive nature, being in the flow, things just go slower, you just know what to do, and yeah, this is the holy grail of elite performance. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button before you go, so you don't miss any future videos. Also hit the like button, so that I know that you like videos of this nature. There's going to be plenty more coming from me very soon.